Euthanasia could become law in Western Australia today as the controversial voluntary assisted dying bill is expected to pass the state's lower house. Emily Evans joins me live now from Parliament House in Perth. Emily, the upper house introduced more than 50 amendments to the bill, but you're still expecting to see passage today?
That's right. Well, there were actually 55 amendments in total made by the upper house, and 12 of those amendments were actually tabled by the state government. They included ensuring that doctors considered a patient's medical history before even thinking about voluntary assisted dying, and also ensuring that only doctors and certain nurses can start that VAD conversation with patients. Now, this legislation would allow West Australian adults to end their life if they have a terminal illness which has left them with 6 months to live. The upper house has spent the last few weeks heavily scrutinising the bill, as you mentioned, going through the more than 180 clauses within it. But on Friday, the upper house voted overwhelmingly in favour, 24 votes to just 11. Now, some MPs, however, do still remain unhappy with the bill, mainly with certain parts, including how the voluntary assisted dying would not be mentioned on death certificates. Now, I spoke to the WA Health Minister earlier today, and he reiterated that the bill was a result of wide public consultation and that it has the support of the WA community.
Look, we've considered this bill very carefully. It's been subject to wide public consultation and has been scrutinised carefully not only by the ministerial expert panel and health stakeholders but the members of parliament themselves. Over 175 hours of debate. So we are confident in the legislation. We believe it does deserve the members of parliament's support, and it certainly has the community support.
The state government had hoped the voluntary assisted dying bill would become law by Christmas, and it's looking like Labor's wish could come true. The amended bill is largely expected to be rubber stamped by the lower house when it goes to a vote later this afternoon. If it does become law, WA will be the second state to introduce the legislation after Victoria introduced similar laws in 2017. But even if it does pass, the laws themselves, Chris, won't actually come into effect for at least 18 months.
Thanks, Emily. Emily Evans there live from Perth with Western Australia looking to follow Victoria there. We had earlier in the year the first death that we understand, the voluntary assisted dying death in Victoria earlier this year. It looks like Western Australia there set to follow.